Hey y'all. Okay, so let's do light pink today. Why not? Yay. I find that with the lighter pink, it's better to go with a darker lipstick or something. Or maybe some kind of lipstick. Heck, I don't know. I experiment, you know me. All right, let's do part two of hints when you have a doggy. Okay? And I'm hoping I can read this because it's so tiny. All right. What you want to do is make sure that when you bathe them, does that make a difference or not? Kind of. When you bathe them, make sure that you do not get water in their ears. Do not get water in their ears. Because if you do, it can build up yeast infection. And next thing you know, they've got a bunch of gunk in their ears and their ears are itching all the time. So you want to be really cautious of that and cognizant of that. Okay. I learned that the hard way. um, dog. Okay. God, this is so. I cannot emphasize this enough. All right. Dog fights can be typical in a dog park. Don't just stand there and watch your pet fight with another dog. Pull them apart. Milo wears a harness so I can grab him easily when I need to. Okay? I cannot tell you how many times I've seen owners just stand there and go, and they're watching the fight take, just letting it happen. What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't do that. Unless you want to go to the animal hospital, do not do that, okay? Don't do that. Don't do that. I would not advise pulling them away at their mouths near their faces because you may lose a finger. But grab them by the hips, pull them back. Like I said, Milo has a harness which has a handle. So I grab that handle and pull him apart and also shoo that other dog away from my dog because I'm not going to stand here and take that. All right. So I've learned that the hard way. Now, because the previous trainer was a horrible person, he is another narcissist. They know everything and everybody's stupid except them, which is really the other way around. Sometimes narcissists have a tendency, and there's a reason I'm bringing this up. Sometimes narcissists have a tendency when you have observed things or someone has educated you on this particular thing or they told you, well, be careful, this could happen. With a narcissist, a lot of times what you say is considered dumb and what they say is factual. So when I told him I had heard about someone that I know, her dog had got tore up at a dog park. And I said, well, that's a concern for me. This is the previous idiot that I hired that I eventually fired. I said, yeah, I'm just kind of concerned about injuries. And he goes, oh, injuries? What? It's a dog park. You're going to have a good time. He's going to have a great time. Completely overlooking the fact that that is factual. And treating me like that is the most ridiculous thing he's ever heard in his life. He did that to me a few times. There's some moisturizing stuff that I have put on the pads of his paws before. I wouldn't want to put too much because then you make his paws too soft and then he's subject to injury when he's out in the woods. So you gotta be careful with that. But when he was younger, I massaged, Feel Goods softener in his paws. And he was like, what? Softeners in his paw. He acted like I ran through the mall butt ass naked or something. I mean, he acted like that was just absolutely ludicrous. Why would I do something like that? That's the most ridiculous thing. They don't necessarily come out and say that's the most ridiculous thing they ever heard, but if they haven't heard of it, it's a bad idea. Okay? So don't let anybody do that to you. Don't let anybody tell you that this is ridiculous or that's horrible or you should never do that to your animal. Because anytime I've heard that stupid shit, I asked my vet about it and my vet's office had a completely opposite reaction and they're very, very, very good at what they do. So I'm going to take their word over somebody who's acting over the top about what I've said, like it was the silliest thing in the world. Okay? There's your sign. Red flag. Somebody does it to you. And injuries are typical in a dog park. Fights are typical in a dog park. Okay? They may even be fighting with each other and having a blast. And then all of a sudden they turn on each other on a dime and you're like, you were playing nicely for an hour. What happened? It's weird. Real weird. Real weird. But at the bigger dog park, it's real big. There's almost never fights. It's almost never fights. And I think because it's a lot bigger, so the dogs are less territorial because each dog has their own space if they want to go off and do their thing. So that's the only thing I could think of. One of them is really, really small and the other one's really, really big. And maybe it's territorial type of thing. I'm not sure, but it seems like it. Anyway, let's move on. Wait as long as possible to spay or neuter. If done before a year, can cause arthritis in joints later on in their lives. I had Milo neutered at 9 months because he was becoming reckless and ignoring me in hopes of mating with a female. Regardless of gender, they will go through humping motions for dominance even after spay or neuter. They will do that with you too if you allow them, so put a stop to it. Wait as long as you can to neuter or spay. They can have problems with their joints in the future and they can get arthritis. Hormones control how the legs are formed, the joints are formed. It's the same thing with humans, believe it or not. I had someone that I know who she went through cancer and she was taking some type of medication that either, I don't know if it must have decreased the estrogen. I can't really speak on that, but it's something to do with the hormone levels, and it caused her treatment for cancer. It caused her immense, excruciating pain in her legs. It might have decreased decreased the estrogen possibly. I don't know, but your hormone levels have a lot to do with your joints. So in humans and animals. So be careful. Don't neuter them when they're tiny or young, real young. I would wait as long as possible. And again, after they are spayed or neutered, they will hump anyway. It's not a hormone thing. It's a dominance thing. I've seen my friend's female dog hump the male dog's face. Okay. It's a dominance thing. I was here before you. This is my house. I let you live here. Let's get that straight. Okay, so that was a dominance thing. Sometimes dogs will do that to their owners after being spayed or neutered. I think males could be more prone to that. Milo occasionally does that to me, and I make sure I kick him off of me and let him know you are not the boss, applesauce. Don't even go there. He's very, very headstrong. He's very determined, and we have locked horns as a result of that. And so when the humping comes into play, that's not a sexual thing because he's neutered. It's a dominance thing. You don't want your animal letting you know that, hey, I'm the boss and I'm letting you know because we, doing this number. You put a stop to it right away. Okay, so we talked about this before. Some dog trainers have no idea what they are talking about and can cause more damage to your dog. Do your research and rely on reviews. Check Yelp also. McCann Dog Training is excellent. Free vids are on YouTube. We talked about this before. Make sure you have the correct brushes for your dog's fur. The one I use reduces shedding quite a bit and is self-cleaning. So you'll see it on Amazon. I don't remember what it's called. I'm so sorry. It's square, it's got a handle, and it's got a button behind it, behind the head of the brush. And it's for sensitive skin because he's not used to being brushed. So I figured I'll get the one for sensitive skin. And it works really, really well. When you press the button after you brush them, depending on the style you get, the one I have, you press the button and the fur is on the top. So you press the button and the bristles go inside. And the fur is on the outside. And you just wipe it right off. So it's a self-cleaning brush, which is wonderful, and it significantly reduces his shedding. If you get the right brush, it can significantly reduce shedding for sure. Okay, like I said, this is so small. Learn to read your body's. Okay, let's try that again. Learn to read your dog's body language. When they are around other dogs or people, it reveals how they feel towards them. Stay on alert in case of sudden, unexpected moves. So watch and see how they react to people. Watch how they see how they react to other animals. If their body is rigid and they're not really wagging their tail, they just seem stiff as a board. Watch them closely. Console them. Let them know, hey, 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 calm down. You're fine. Calm down. Because that rigid body language is telling another dog or another person, I don't trust you. So I may be unpredictable in about 5 seconds or less. Watch them closely, okay? Their body language tells everything you need to know. Also, I didn't write this down, but I'm remembering it. Dogs communicate to each other through body language and through eye contact. So make sure when you bring your dog to the dog park, you always stay on alert. Do not go in there and read a book and not pay attention, because the next thing you know, there's going to be war and you never saw it coming. I'm telling you from experience, not because some imbecile who don't know what he's talking about is trying to convince me otherwise. I've seen it with my own eyes. Let's see. Yeah, watch them close. Watch the body language. Your animal communicates with you through body language and eye contact. I almost always know what Milo wants, because he will stand in the middle of the room and he will stare me down. Okay. He'll either go to the door and ring the bells, because he learned that when he was younger. He learned to ring the bell when he had to go potty. So he will do that even to this day. Or he will stand in the middle of the room and stare at me like, what's the problem here? So I will go through my head what he needs. I look in his bowl. Does he have food? Does he have water? Has he gone potty recently? He's usually telling me through the stare down what he wants. Sometimes I've been clueless. I'm like, what? What? I don't know what you want. He was in his crate. He was raising hell. And I was still learning him. And I thought he had to go potty. So I took him out potty 2 separate times. He didn't go. But I put him in his crate and he went off. And I was like, what? What is wrong with you? It's bedtime. He was thirsty. I didn't know that. I didn't know. If I had let him out of his crate, he would have showed me what the problem was. He would have went into the kitchen and showed me, there's nothing in my bowl and I'm thirsty. I'm parched. Let's go. You know what I mean? So they'll tell you what they want. Pay close attention to them. They tell you. Let's see. This is so important. Oh my God, this is so important. And I've said this before, but I cannot emphasize it enough. Make sure you socialize your animals with people. Tall people, short people, people with beards, people without beards, people with dreadlocks, people without dreadlocks, people on crutches, people in a wheelchair. And the younger, the better. Not to say you can't socialize them when they're older, but it's a little harder. Try to do it when they're young. Okay. I'm looking for my, peepers. Try to figure out where I put my peepers. Anyway, socialize the heck out of them. If you do not socialize them, they will see the world as a threat, and everybody's a threat. Some people they're idiots, right? So they take pride in the fact that their dog is so aggressive. Oh, don't come too close. She's aggressive, or he's aggressive. Why? Why are you in public where there's people, but people can't come anywhere near you in a public area? Your dog shouldn't be there. Don't tell people they shouldn't be near your dog. Your dog shouldn't be there because your dog has issues, because you didn't socialize them. Okay? And if you did socialize them and they still act ignorant, then you have to get them a trainer. But don't tell people you got to walk so many feet behind me because my dog goes crazy. No. Your dog has issues. That's what the problem is. Your dog has issues. Okay? And you have issues because you should teach your dog what to do and what not to do. Don't take pride in their aggression because you're asking for a lawsuit. If your dog bites the crap out of somebody, you will be paying the medical bills. They'll take your ass to court. Play around if you want to. So, okay. Okay, and I talked about this. Weight until they're at least 8 weeks old before you get puppies. Make sure they're 8 weeks old. I didn't do that with Milo because I completely forgot. It was 6 weeks. Taking him from his mom wasn't the problem. Taking him from his siblings is a massive problem. They learn everything from their siblings. They learn pecking order. They learn how to interact. They learn what's appropriate to do with each other, what is not appropriate. They learn to read body language. They learn everything they need to know in the real world. So if you snatch them away from their siblings, that is worse than snatching them from their mom too soon. Okay? Stay consistent with your training. Be firm in your voice. I've seen Dog Daddy. He's very, very good with dogs, especially aggressive dogs. He's not having it, okay? The biggest thing that I've watched a couple episodes. He's a dog trainer. Young guy, a little bit of an accent. He's about my complexion, maybe lighter. He always dresses real snazzy, and he almost always wears sunglasses. But he's called the Dog Daddy. And I watched him train, and he doesn't mess around. One lady had a problem because she's very passive with her dog. I have to call my doctor about this cough. This is going on too long and it's getting ridiculous now. So I gotta call him tomorrow. Or tomorrow? No, Monday. Whatever. I'm calling Monday. I'm not happy. Can you tell? It's not my favorite thing to do. Anyway, she was real passive. She has a Doberman Pinscher and he runs all over her. He's aggressive. He yanks her on the chain. He defies her. He is just basically the ruler of her house. Her body language is very passive. Her voice is very passive. She does not take control of him. Dog Daddy took control of him within probably 7 to 10 minutes. Not even 10 minutes. He jerked him by the leash and he was like, grabbed him again, firmly. No. He took control of that dog. Within minutes, that dog was laying by him, looking for his guidance, and was affectionate with him. He's desperate for rules and regulations. He's desperate for boundaries. Because he was wanting to love on him. You know, Dog Daddy was wanting to love on him, the Dobie, and the owner said, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Because normally he's going to try to take your face off. They were hugging each other, loving on each other. He wanted guidance. If you don't give guidance, he knows he can run all over you. Or she can run all over you. Don't take pride in your dog being an ass. Okay? She didn't. She was just passive. So your dog knows he's in control of you or she's in control of you. You don't want to say, no, don't do that. That's not nice. Hey. That's not firm. Okay? Milo's aggressive. Milo and I have locked horns, like I've told you. When I get really, really angry, and I take control of him and I will pin him to the ground and we will stay here all night if you want to. I'm not having it. Okay? And he'll scream like he's being killed because he can't stand giving in. However, when I'm in a bad mood or I've had enough of him for the day, I will raise my voice and tell him to lay down now, right now. And he's like, okay, gosh, what is wrong with her? He will obey me and he will obey me fast because he knows I'm not playing. I've had it up to here with you. So if I were to say, okay, Milo, that's enough. You're getting on my nerves today. Stop that. Hey, that's not nice. Hey, that's not nice. Do you really think he's going to take that seriously? He's going to flip me the bird and laugh in my face, okay? You have to take control. You don't have to kill them, dismember them, swing them around the room like a chicken with his head cut off. You don't have to do any of that, but you need to have some firmness in your voice and you make them lay down. Another thing, I didn't write this down, but it's important, okay? Because they respond to body language, when you train them, body language is good too, okay? Stay is better than stay because this says don't move, okay? You teach them that, right? One day, and it wasn't even a training thing, he just did it, and he's been doing it ever since, which is pretty cool. To make him sit, I went like this. I just put my finger down like that. He sat. I didn't teach him that. I just did it. And to this day, I don't have to say a word. I just do that, and he knows to sit. So he's pretty smart. But they like body language. They respond better to body language than just verbal commands alone. Okay, because it gives them something visual. Prime example. This book I was reading, this lady is a professional dog trainer. She's been doing it forever. She's got a book on it. Anyway, she said she saw, it was like her or some other, a couple of people, they were trying to tell the dogs to come to me because cars were coming. They don't know those dogs don't know them. So they were like, come on, come here, come here. No, come here, come to me, come. That's a good boy, that's a good girl. You're telling them, come. That's better than, hey, come. Some dogs may respond to that, but since they communicate through body language is a good way to, it sticks in their head a little more because that's how they communicate with you and that's how they communicate with each other. And yes, those people that were telling the dogs to come, they did come. You know, you get low to the ground. Come here, make your voice excited. Come here, there you go, come here. And they will come to you. If you say, hey, don't do that, come here. Again, that's not effective, right? So don't sound mean and intimidating if you're trying to get them to come to you when a car is coming, because they're going to be scared of your voice. So you want to be like, come here. No, come here. That good girl, good boy. Sounds silly, but it works. Okay. Oh, when possible, eat before your dog eats. Eat before your dog eats. I don't care how hungry your dog is. Your dog can wait. Of course, if it's been all day, they're hungry, so don't make them wait all day. But when you eat first and you make your dog wait, that is what happens in the wild. The alpha dog eats first, the other dogs wait. They don't come over to get a bite. They don't try to sneak a bite when the alpha is not looking. They don't mess around because the alpha will show his or her teeth and let them know. You really want to play a game with me? You don't want to. You just don't. And they're like, they don't even attempt it because that dog has already established alpha. Well, you are the alpha. So when you eat first, you're telling your dog, I'm at the top of the pyramid here. You'll wait until I'm done. I do that most of the time. Sometimes I don't because I forget, but I'm working on it. And I would tell him, just wait. You know, and obviously when he tries to get closer to me to get what I have, I push him away from me, which is what would happen in the wild, or they would snap at them to let them know, don't you dare when I'm eating, don't you dare. So yeah. Don't show fear to your pets, otherwise they can sense that and they would do as they please when they please. Okay? Don't show fear. There's a bird I fell in love with, a couple of birds on YouTube. One of them, let me think. I forget what the bird's name is. She's an African gray and she's in love with her dad. Well, it's a married couple. The wife is afraid of her. So she snaps at the wife. Because I saw her, it was so subtle, but I saw it, where she put her hand towards the bird and the bird snapped at her hand like, no. She's never done that to her dad. And she pulled her hand away. When you pull your hand away, you're telling the bird, I'm scared of you. You're in control. I've experienced this myself in a mall, in the pet store, have major issues with this one particular bird. And the lady told me why. The lady that worked there told me why. She said, because when you pull away, you're letting them know that you're scared of them, you're nervous of them, and they're in control. They know they're in control now. I said, well, what do I do? Because I don't want to be minus my fingers. She said, you give them the back of your hand because this is less sensitive than the rest of your hand. So when he bites at you and you don't pull away, he's going to be like, oh. Because I always pulled away. So he always knew he was the boss of me. So that one day I took her word and I kept my hand there and he snipped at the back of my hand and I said, is that all you got? And he just looked at me like, oh, right. I'm not scared of you anymore because I learned what to do. Because they can pinch hard. You've never been bit by a bird, baby. You don't want that. Okay? Believe me, you don't want that. Okay. So let's talk about body functions with puppies. If you can't handle this, click off the video, okay? Pet parents understand this well. They don't get grossed out. It's part of life. Puppies are notorious for being constipated. Milo still goes through it. Young dogs in particular will go through that, okay? My favorite thing to use is pumpkin in a can, which is what my vet told me to use. Walmart has it year-round. It gently works on their system to help them go. No need to cook it. They can have it right out of the can. My vet recommended this, and it works. Okay? So she recommended 2 other things, but I just use the pumpkin in the can. I like it, and he likes it, and I don't have to entice him to eat it, and it's wonderful. It gently works on their system to help them go. Okay? Plus, he, like I said, he likes it. He's like... You know, he really gets a kick out of that. So, excuse me. Yeah, he gets a kick out of that. So, I try to stock up on pumpkin just in case he has an issue. But like I said, it works really, really well. You don't have to give them a ton. I would say maybe, I don't know. He's a big dog, and I occasionally give it to him. I give him like maybe this much, like a little, it's hard to describe. I don't give him a ton. I just give him like, I don't know, I'm going to ballpark it at 5 or 6 spoonfuls or something. I don't measure it. I just give it to him. I don't give him a cup or anything, or half a cup even, maybe a quarter of a cup. I don't really know, but I don't give him a ton. And it works. And it can work overnight when they go to bed, so the next day they can do what they need to do. Watch the consistency. If you're a pet parent, you already know this. Watch the consistency of their poops. Make sure they're solid. If they're not solid ever, check with your vet to see if there's an issue with their body or their diet. Pet parents already instinctively, most of them already do that. They just watch to make sure that it's not always loose. They make sure that they watch the consistency, watch to see if they struggle. You just want to keep an eye on that. You know what I mean? But it is notorious for them to be constipated. I don't know why, but it is. And I'm hot. Woo! Gotta love those hot flashes. I tell you what, they're so much fun. Men are so lucky. Lucky, I say. All right. Supervise children around your dog. Children can be rough with their hands and can therefore get bitten or growled at. Also, be sure that dogs don't get put in a tight hug. Dogs don't like that. It's better to snuggle the doggy on the couch after he or she comes to you, but no bear hugs. Dogs tolerate it, but they don't like it. Kids can be very, as you know, aggressive with their hands. So they could grab the dog's ears like this and hold real tight. They could pull. You need to supervise the dog with your child. They can pull on their whiskers. They can pull their tail. They can kick them. They could fall on top of them. They could do a whole bunch of things that the dog will not necessarily want to put up with. So supervise that. They also like to do this when they hug. And dogs can't stand hugs. They really don't like it. That's a human thing. They don't like that. Lord. Whew. Anyway, I'm dying. Are y'all coming to my funeral? I'm dying over here. Anyway, Milo's learning to accept my hugs, and he will even lean into me like this and put his chin on my shoulder, especially if he's really stressed out because I had to cut his nails, and I had to be aggressive with him because he's fighting me, so I had to basically get on top of him and let him know I'm doing it, period. All right? And I will hug him afterwards and let him know, hey, I still love you. This is just something I have to do. So give me a hug. So I'll sit in front of him and I will hug him gently. And he will put his head on me like this. But it's not natural for them to do. It's not their favorite thing, because in the wild, another dog doing that to you can be intimidating, and dogs can react aggressively to that. So it's not a natural thing for them to do. However, I have seen exceptions to the rule, and I've seen dogs hug each other when, for example, they've been in the shelter, they've been in the shelter and all they know is each other. And so they've developed a bond with each other, and they will hug each other, or one of them will hug the other one. So it's pretty cute. So I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, that's everything for part 2. If I think of something else, I'll let you know. But if you have any questions, just ask, and if I will help you out with it. So yeah, I just wanted to give you that info. I'm still learning with Milo. Genetically, and I know I've talked about this before, genetically he could be aggressive because it's in his genes. He's sweet, he's loving, he's funny, he's everything, but he also gets really angry at the drop of a hat. I'm training with him every single day about the paws because he hates it. Sometimes he gets really mad, and other times he looks at my hand on his paw like, you know how I feel about that. And I'm telling him, you're okay. You're okay. And he's looking for me to guide him. So he will stare into my eyes and I'll say, you're okay. You're fine. You're okay. And sometimes I hold him here. You're okay. I'm not hurting you. It's okay. It's okay. He needs that reassurance because he still freaks out. Sometimes he doesn't, but most of the times he will. And he will get loud, and here come the teeth. He's trying to intimidate me with the loudness in his voice. I'm not going to be intimidated by that. Knock it off. You're fine. I'm not hurting you. So it's a work in progress. I work with his paws every single day. And when he gets aggressive about it, I grab him here. Because in the wild, that's what mama would do. That's what the alpha would do. Grab them here, which automatically puts them in submission. Sometimes he resists even when I do that. And I'll apply a little bit of pressure. I don't choke my dog. I apply a little bit of pressure to let him know I mean business. Okay? Because again, in the wild, the alpha dog is not going to say, you're getting on my nerves, right? Stop that. Stop trying to grab my meal before I'm done. He's going to snatch that dog up and body slam him to the ground. Especially if he's told him more than once. He's going to let him know through no uncertain terms. What did I tell you? You got to understand, they're not people. So you cannot treat them like people. We've said this before. They're not children. They're not babies. There are babies. They're in our hearts. But they're animals. So you have to give them the type of response that they understand in the wild. Okay? Stop. That's not what would happen in the wild. You're going to get your ass kicked in the wild. I've seen mothers snap at their puppies. And I'm talking little itty bitty ones. She missed that puppy's head by this much. She's not playing with you. Okay? They're not used to being coddled. Hey, that's not nice. Be good. Be good. Hey. That's not how it works in the wild. Okay? I've seen mom do the snarly thing. I've seen her teeth come out. She's snapped. I've seen her grab a puppy before. I've seen her nip at them and miss them. Like I said, miss them by a quarter of an inch. She's not playing with you. So you cannot treat them like you would do a toddler. You cannot treat them like you would treat a human baby. They are not humans. They are animals. Okay? So you have to treat them accordingly. All right? Mwah. Much love. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this information helped you, and I'll see you next time.